Well,
we're doing a podcast now.
we're on.
We're on.
For
Is
the
that
week.
okay there? Is that
That's lovely now.
okay?
That's great. Why
Yes.
wouldn't that be okay there?
Just in case it was for anything else.
Yeah. Just in case it was for a little man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Called.
fuck, I've left my mug over there.
Do you want me to
You
go
have.
get it?
Go. I know.
Go on, go get it. We'll hold the fort here.
Yeah. Vamp.
We can
Go
do
on.
that. He just comes back and we're both dead somehow. You shouldn't have left Roger and Mike
Yeah.
alone together. They created a suicide pact and followed through on it in the 30 seconds that you left. So
Roger O'Sullivan. We need to introduce guests. We're bad at this.
Roger O'Sullivan, great comedian, great man, wonderful
Great
lover.
mustache.
Yes.
Thank you,
Really
thank
putting
you.
me to shame. I was nervous about having you on because of the mustache.
Because of specifically the mustache.
Yeah, it's great.
I think the mustache now is just a defining feature of all Irish men that come to London.
We must.
Yeah.
We follow in the footsteps of the great Paul Mescal.
Of course, yeah.
This is what we're all doing. You have a choice to make as an Irishman. You're either a Keoghan or a Mescal, and we've
Oh.
announced our side of that debate.
Let's be honest, better a mescal.
I'm a disciple
Oh,
of Keoghan. I'd follow Keoghan into the fucking fires of hell.
Oh my God.
I think he's a wonderful man and a great example. Well, now what your mustache is to Vittorio is like the scene in Crocodile Dundee where he's like, has an knife. He's like, I'll show you a knife.
I'll show you a mustache.
Yeah, I'll show you a
Because
mustache.
you've committed to the lip overhang and all. And
Yeah.
Because you're like, for a long time, you were just a pretty clean shaven,
Yeah.
you know, and then you're holding out on us.
Well, what happened to me was I got a lot of the facial hair stuff out of my system when I was quite young.
What? When?
So I had to shave before my confirmation. I was a very hirsute.
Like 11?
Yeah.
You were a hairy little man.
Oh yeah, I hit puberty very early.
Whoa.
I don't remember pre-pubes.
That's
I don't remember pre-pubes.
Your first memory you have.
you had
yeah.
chest hair.
Yes, yeah. I was pulled out of the womb via the chest hair. That's my memory.
By Jesus.
Yeah. So I just.
We had a fella like that in our year called Chalky, and the lads would say, Jesus, he looks like his mother knitted him. Just as fucking hairy. But did that
11, did that cause you any bother? Were people nasty about the sheer hairiness?
Well,
like the Cork Sasquatch?
I would say, in hindsight, the fact that I was about 2 foot taller than every other kid helped me
You were
a lot.
big hairy
But
beanpole
I was
of a
big.
chap.
I was big. Yeah. I was. The word tank was thrown around.
Oh, I forget this about you. You were a prop in your younger days. Yeah.
I was a different man. If you were to see younger me, you would have thought he'd eaten current me.
But so did that help you? Because I had a friend now called Fitzy, and he had chest hair, I believe, from like the age of 8, and big, kind of well built. He had a beard before I even had pubes. I couldn't believe it, and he was my friend, and he was a man, and it was so strange. But then all the women were flocking towards him because there's this 14-year-old / 30-year-old.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
I didn't see that personal benefit.
Right.
Because the way it manifested I looked as close to a paedophile as a child could look. So I think it didn't quite manifest in that. I have to be honest now.
You're attracting the women.
Yeah. On my confirmation, the bishop actually thought I was another priest there. He
Sure,
said, "What are you
you'd be no
doing?"
use to a priest.
No.
By age 10, you were disgusting to them.
I was an altar
repulsive.
server for a very brief time, and I think I
You
was
got
pushed
kicked out for looking too old.
Yeah, you got pushed out.
Yeah, the priest was a bit like, I'd say we have one too many now this week.
Yeah.
One too many. And I go, really? And he goes, yeah, one too many. The minute the frock can't fit,
Yeah.
he kicks you
If
out.
the frock doesn't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah, that was it.
Is it called a frock?
Is it
Because I
not?
never did the altar boy thing. And
This
there was
is-
a moment
yeah.
in my life where I was like, oh, they're so cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wish I was
Lads,
an altar boy.
It was fucking at the time you were like the Beatles.
Oh, you
know
would
what I
have
mean?
been peak. No.
It was women screaming, waiting for you outside, and
yeah.
you had you were able to you had the knack of ringing the bell.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
here's what really happened to me.
Yeah.
Right. So first, you're lining up, line out for
Yeah.
first half of the mass.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You just lift the priest up
Yeah.
and throw the communion to him and line it.
Yeah.
And I'd been positioned in the wrong place for when we were going out. So I wasn't supposed to be doing the bell.
Right.
Right? I wasn't supposed to be doing the bell. I'd been positioned in what was clearly the bell position.
Right. You'd been put in front of the bell.
Yeah, I'd been put in front of the bell, and
Some men are born with a bell. Others have bell thrust upon them.
well, it was thrust upon me, and it shouldn't have been, because as the mass was going along, it became very apparent to me that I'd never paid attention to when the bell was rang ever in my life. So at one point, I just felt like, listen, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. It's time for a bit of bell. And it wasn't.
But like you just went on.
cut the bell.
Yeah, I just
Cut the
I
buzzer.
love the idea on
You
pure
big hairy cunt. Cut the bell.
pure instinct. This big hairy child just fucking.
Just absolute Quasimodo vibes.
Yeah.
Sanctuary.
Yeah. For Christ! You're just shouting.
And the look the priest gave me, it was very much like,
Don't be at that.
I'd say he'd done it on the other side of the confession grate many a time, but to see it in person,
kind of filtered.
yeah.
Oh, that's wild. So I'm trying to remember if I know when. It's the mystery of faith is when you do the bell. Am I crazy about that?
No, I think it's when it's like
Do this in
It's-
memory of me.
It's 3 times, isn't it?
no,
Isn't it?
it's
Or is it 2?
Hosanna something.
Don't listen,
It's
don't
do
ask
this in
me.
memory of me. Gling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah.
No,
that sounds-
that's one as well. But there's a
Yeah.
couple of bells.
Yeah, there are.
If it was one bell, it'd be easy.
It would be easy.
But there's something to do with fucking Hosanna, you big whore.
Listen,
Gling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
You dirty rotten whore.
I'd love to have. Wouldn't it be so funny to do a stand-up show where you have altar boys?
that would be
And
unreal.
just at a point, like at the 40-minute sad
Yeah.
bit in your Edinburgh show, it's
Yeah.
just like
Gling-a-ling.
gling-a-ling.
the Mike and Vittorio's mass.
Yes.
Mike and
We
Vittorio's
should do
midnight
a mass. Fuck
You
live
should
pods.
do midnight mass.
That
We
would be
should do a
lovely.
mass.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Oh,
Handy out yolks.
Huh? Yeah.
Body of Christ.
I remember being in Berlin one time. I was going to a club called Suicide Circus, and sure,
This doesn't sound like a place I would like to go.
No.
At various times in my life, I would have loved to go to either of those.
Yes.
But never at once. I never would have put them together.
Well, it
I was a
was
suicide or a circus joke.
a Suicide Circus. You went in, most people didn't come out, and that was the
But they
uh,
do say clowns are the saddest people. So they say clowns are the saddest people. So.
Well, isn't there that thing about the great clown Magliano, and he goes to the therapist.
Just picked an Italian name out of your head.
No.
It's Pagliacci.
The fella goes
It's
to the
Pagliacci.
Yeah.
the fella goes to the therapist, and he says I'm sad, I don't see any point in living, and the therapist says, why, you should go see the great clown Magliano, and he'll cheer you up, and he says, I am the great clown Magliano. Yes. Who does he go to see?
That's so true. So
Well,
true.
Maybe like Michael
Lee Mack.
McIntyre.
Lee Mack, yeah.
Also, it's not Magliano.
No.
It's Pagliacci.
Is it Pagliacci?
whatever.
Oh, okay,
I think it's but it's not Magliano. That's just a
Oh.
comedian who we know.
Shut up.
It's not Anya Magliano.
It could have been.
I've been hearing this is about her. I heard that happened to her.
As if Anya Magliano can't suffer from stress and ill
yeah.
feeling.
Stuart Lee had a joke that was like based on that joke in his show that I went to see like maybe a year ago now. It's probably available on a special, but he says that he was so fat and depressed and like hairy that he did go to the doctor. And he was like, "Oh, have you seen? Went to see Stuart Lee the other night. It was great." And he was like, "I'm fucking Stuart."
Yeah. Yeah.
Fat hairy
Do
bastard.
you know who's fat now and what I love to see? Do you know what?
That's like
Do you know
something
who's fat
that is,
now?
you've never seen more like a rural Irish mother.
Yeah.
In
like-
saying that.
Do you know who's gotten awful fat?
They're very fat now and they're not pregnant.
No.
And if they are, they're not married.
I tell you what I found inspirational now, and who was a very fat man, was the Cork hurling manager.
Oh, yes.
Now,
A good fat man.
and I just think that's absolutely brilliant. And we need to bring back more big fat managers.
That type of fatness
Oh,
You don't see it
beautiful.
outside of
Rotund,
I'd say even Cork
Rubesque,
even.
Rubenesque.
It's like it's that man. That man couldn't eat for 40 days, and he still wouldn't look skinny.
That's right.
Like he just doesn't. It's the Michelin man.
broadness to him. Yeah,
It's beautiful.
Well, it's an essence of fatness. Like there's nothing he could do. He's like Jenny Sack in The Sopranos. Do you remember
yes,
Johnny
yeah,
Sacks? Johnny Sacks' wife, who
Yeah.
was just like
Yeah,
she got an
yeah,
800-pound mole removed from her ass.
Yeah.
Nasty joke.
That's the joke that caused a lot of trouble
Caused
in
a
the
lot of
organised
trouble.
crime
It
community.
did.
Jesus.
It really did.
So
It
there
had
was-
sent ripples.
Yes.
There was a really St. Rickles. It was quite a Don Rickles-esque line. Nice.
That's good.
That
is
was good. I
Steve.
can't believe I didn't get more for that.
Well, is that in the special?
It will be.
Oh, nice.
I'll be putting
okay.
it in.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Sopranos?
Yeah.
has anyone seen it? I was talking to my friend about Sopranos.
Yeah, setting the whole thing up. We were doing a podcast at the time.
Right. But, you know, people talk about Gervais and Chappelle and, oh, they're so brave and they say this and that. And obviously the people who say these things are kind of people who live in cabbage patches and stuff. But they're like, they're so brave and everything. So I'll tell you who's brave. Fucking Ralphie from The Sopranos.
He was brave.
Risking his life to call Johnny Sack's wife a fat fucker.
Yeah. How desperate are you to spoil us for The Sopranos? How desperate are you to call someone's wife fat that you're putting your neck on the line?
Neck on the fucking line. And then-
Sometimes you gotta tell the joke.
That's
You know?
right.
You do.
Not when Paulie Walnuts is around the fucking snitch.
Loose lips.
Fucking loose-lipped little bollocks. But
Suicide Circus?
but the Suicide Circus was just there was actually a drug dealer outside handing out fucking the drugs.
How'd you go in?
Like literally as you go in, hiding nowhere. He was not hiding behind a bin, being like, "There's the drug dealer."
Yeah.
Literally, as you're going down to the line, he was literally handing them out like communion.
It's like cloakroom drug priest
That's right.
club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good service.
Well, it was a lovely little service, and he'd have you high as a kite going in, and sure, then suicide was the last thing you were thinking of.
Yeah.
It was
until
mostly
The next day.
circuses.
the next day,
Yeah.
you certainly.
That's tough if you're like coming out of a club and you're like at the end of a rough night out and you're all bedraggled and like, you know, just trying to find your way home. And you just look up and it's just on the way out of the club, it's just like the word suicide. And you're like, no, I haven't
There you
considered
go.
it.
There you go. I was looking for a sign. Well, by God, next person sees circus, goes, well, fair bucks. Goes off, becomes a gymnast.
Yeah, it depends which one you see
Yeah.
first, which part of the sign,
What
suicide or
was the
circus.
circus element of the club, Mike?
Well, I think it was just the general kind of gymnastics and kind of. I think there was there might have been some animals in there. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay.
Yeah, so I think there was like kind of like maybe a pig or a goat and different kind of just farm animals kind of going around. It was quite pagan and
Right.
like, you know, like obviously Berlin, they're dirty, rotten sex fiends. So there was
Yes.
like,
I've heard this.
I think people kind of would be kind of going off to the toilets with a little pagan. So there was just this kind of mad last days of Rome, the time of Nero. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where it was
yeah.
just because what Nero did one time was he set up a little festival whereby all the like peasants and servants in the society got to fuck aristocrat women. Just for like this like few day little festival.
Right.
And then like the fathers of the daughters like who were like noblemen who were just so annoyed. And then their like servant would get to shag the like princess, kind of the royalty.
I think we need more mad laws like that now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just
yeah.
wee bits of fucking weird. Like that French thing is like where Collier and not Collier, the Buffon in France.
Yes.
So you had all these
Oh.
like freaks that lived outside the town and then they were allowed in for like one day a year to like make fun of everybody.
Yeah.
And they
Carnival,
were like,
yeah.
fuck you big stupid, whatever, yeah. And then they just like, right, now leave.
What?
But they were allowed to say whatever they wanted. They couldn't get Polly Walnuts.
Yeah.
But I think a lot about the jester. You know, because
yeah.
people are mad into talking about the jester now, and they say this man, he was the one guy allowed to speak truth to power, and I just don't imagine a man doing that would wear that many bells. I feel like there was an awful lot of bellage going on.
No, he was doing his own mass, but couldn't afford the altar boy.
Well,
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-ling-ling-ling.
do you know what? This is why I've always hated jesters.
He was a one-man band.
Yeah, master of the bells. Oh, he would have known.
He would have known.
We had a church around from us because we were always we didn't always go to the parish church, which also recently, did I say this on the podcast? My parish church from growing up, it was a Magdalene laundry, and still has women in it from that time who've never been reintroduced into society.
Here.
Glad to hear it somewhere.
Those dirty bitches.
Glad to see
that's the equivalent of the Gaeltacht.
Yeah.
For the Catholic Church is like, we just want one to keep the culture going.
Just glad to see standards haven't slipped somewhere.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I like to
But it
hear.
was such a weird revelation when my friend told me that. I was like, yeah, there's still women in there who are just like too sad to be in the world. And just like, fucking hell, brutal. But we would go to all different ones because we would just like miss or forget or have something on or whatever.
Yeah.
But there was one in town, and I think it was called St. Malachy's Church in like the centre of town in Belfast. And I'd only ever experienced jing-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They had a fucking bong.
Really?
A wee altar boy had a wee stick and one big bong.
Gong show.
But I think that was
Priest has to
Gong
leave.
show.
Another priest
Next
comes on.
priest. So
you were gonged off there. You didn't create a feeling of the Holy Spirit in any of the parishioners
3 mass cards.
in the minute. Yeah. Oh fuck! What I was going to get back to there was this fat Cork manager, because I kind of want to talk about the All Ireland final a bit. But first off, the manager of Cork's hurling team. Now, if you don't know hurling, well, you do know it. It was on the BBC. You should know it now.
There was a real buzz about it being on the BBC.
Yes.
It was sick. I watched it on the BBC. The greatest advertisement of all time.
Oh yeah, one of the greatest hurling matches
Yeah.
ever. Like for that to be the one that made it on the BBC.
Wasn't it Graham Norton commentating on it? Or was it that would have been
Just
unreal.
random Irish celebrities doing it like the Eurovision.
Yes, yeah, he's doing it like the Eurovision. Very catty. Very. Oh, he pulled his jersey there. That was.
And Tony Kelly's didn't seem to like that belt. Isn't Patrick Horgan getting very snippy now?
I would have said that. That was a short pull at the end of the game. And what would you think about that?
I think he gets drunker throughout the commentary.
Eurovision,
as well.
he's just getting absolutely trolleyed.
That's what they should do. I'd watch more sport. I think if it was guest commentators, just random
Just random
celebrities.
Irish
Yeah,
celebs who are
lads
kind of ingrained in the UK culture.
Yeah.
But it was though. I wouldn't be too into GA. I played it when I was a kid, like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be fond of drink. But when I go to very hell.
But it was some match, like.
Oh yeah. And
I watch hurling like once every 2 years.
Yeah.
And every time go, I'm going to watch this all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's class.
Yeah.
They've fixed every problem that every shit sport has.
That's right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
What did you go on?
Like, as in, you can there's so many things happening. It's made for people with ADHD.
Yes.
Like, honestly,
Yeah.
it just never stops.
Yeah.
And you're like, because for me, when the two halves of a soccer match too long.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just good enough that you go, right, I'm out now for a
And
bit.
the stakes are always high. Like people
yeah.
talk about that in like writing of dramas and stuff. It's like like everything is dramatic because someone could just get clocked in the head with a stick. Like it's just something horrific could happen at any moment, and isn't that great?
The only bad thing I would say about hurling is that
Careful now.
if a xenophobic
Easy, Rog.
person was to make up the sport that you played in Ireland, they would make up hurling.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of lads running around hitting each other with sticks. It
Right.
does sound
Clearly
like
agricultural men, a whisker away from themselves being cattle.
Yes,
marching around the fields.
Lads should be wearing helmets even if they weren't playing. These sorts of lads.
and not a drop of melanin between them.
Yeah.
Just the whitest thighs, the whitest and strongest thighs.
The snow white thighs. I tell you, my roommate who's just moved in with me, Larice, lovely girl, she's never seen hurling before. She sat down there now, she watched it, And I swear to God, there was a puddle forming around her now.
Oh, really?
She was like, oh my God, this is like really arousing. It's like, they're just going to hit each other like that. And oh my God. And then the ref was bleeding. She's like, Jesus Christ.
When that happened,
was great.
Yeah.
It was great. And then anytime I was, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm just so needy to be funny. And I also haven't been gigging that much recently. So I feel like I'm trying a bit too hard to be funny just in like conversation with strangers. I was stood in a pub in Cork. Ref gets his head cut and all, and then anytime there's like a call that's been missed or like a free given the wrong way, I was like, he's concussed. He's fucking concussed. I was just getting good laughs from all the Cork boys around me.
Nice.
So fun.
Lad,
So fun.
I have to say though,
he did fuck it.
the ref,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got fucked.
That
We
last
did
moment
get
was
fucked, yeah.
crazy.
O'Sullivan, you got fucked
Me
on
personally,
Sunday.
yeah.
You got fucked up the arse, no lube by that ref.
I was watching it and I thought, for a man who hasn't thought of hurling in years, I'm furious.
You're taking it very personally.
Yeah,
Livid.
yeah. Honestly, I'd say I won't watch it again for years. No, I just couldn't.
It's fixed. It's fucking corrupt.
The whole thing,
from the
yeah.
top to the bottom.
It's rotten from the inside out, the whole fucking thing. Sure, Tony Kelly and the Clare boys, sure, they were seen giving themselves a brown envelope there about half an hour before the match.
Yeah.
You
given to the
were
ref.
big hurling stock, though, weren't you, Mike? Yeah.
Don't
From
get
Kilkenny.
Yeah.
get me started. But I was the only. There's 4 brothers in the family. I was the only one big into hurling. My father's not into it. Like, but when I'd watch it there now, I'd be like an old bull scraping the ground now.
Would you?
I would, yeah, watching it, and I'd be going, and I'd be kind of half.
You reverse.
Oh, grunting
Yeah.
at the telly. I love it. Like that goal, the Cork goal in that first half. And there was a couple of, I would say 2 of the greatest goals ever scored in the history of hurling were scored in that game. The first one, this big Cork centre-back, like Coo Cullen, like a man from that's lived 1,000 years, catches the ball in his own half. Like, even the catch itself on its own
is unreal.
spectacular.
Yeah.
Whilst running, a man right in his back catches it, proceeds to run 80 yards and bury it off his hurl into the top corner. Good fucking... That was better than the whole Euros. That goal.
Oh, yeah.
That one goal
100%.
was better than the whole fucking Euros. And then in the second half, Tony Kelly, this little fucking magician, the man scores there that I've never seen done in my fucking life. It was like something out of Irish mythology. But he fucking solos in around 3 lads, flicks it over a lad's head, doesn't catch it, controls it on the other side of the box, keeper comes out, flicks it past him. What? Jesus, mother
It's
of
mad.
God.
It's like
Jesus.
the type of hurling you would see in like a film about
Yeah.
hurling.
Lad, you couldn't
Oh,
write
yes. Yeah.
what was going on.
Yeah.
This
No.
girl beside me, Louise, this thing, I've never seen anything like this in my life. How are they doing that? How are they
The
doing
skill
it?
level is unbelievable.
And then you
in
just see the
hurling.
muscles bursting through, and the real fucking just farming muscles
Oh, yeah.
bursting
Yeah,
out
pale.
through the shorts.
Pale with green veins.
Yeah. I was chatting to somebody who watched it for the first time as well.
Yeah.
A UK guy. And he said, I was telling him it's an amateur sport.
Yeah.
Like that the lads don't get paid for it. And then he said, do you think they could all just be on steroids then? Do they get tested or...
The lads.
Yeah.
I'd say there's a fair bit of
I'd
steroids
say...
going on.
But maybe that's why
I
it's so
also
good.
think that about every like elite sport.
Oh, just every elite
that
sport.
everybody's on something.
I'd say now what they're on now is a good fucking fuck off bowl of porridge every morning.
Yeah, and do you know what?
With a lovely bit of banana
milk,
chopped in.
milk. Yeah, milk straight from the teeth.
Like they are on the thickest, creamiest milk.
Yeah.
They
The
go
whole-
in the dressing room is just a cow, and
Oh.
they all just
In Kilkenny, every dairy farmer has to give their best milk cow to the local GA team, and the lads will come in early and suckle off it. Is that
Like-
true, Mike? Is there anything to that?
I genuinely, now that you say it, yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of the best hurling teams, and people asked for a long time how Brian Cody's Kilkenny, when I was growing up, Kilkenny were the fucking best team there was ever. And one of the reasons for that is that they would have the players, as Vittorio alluded to there, they'd come in about an hour before the game and they'd get everyone, they'd put little things down for the lads to go on their knees. They'd have one of the finest cows in all of Kilkenny there, and each player would go in and take their own tit and and they weren't allowed to stop sucking till Cody said.
Really?
Yeah. And then there'd be some lads who'd be like, I'm full. He'd say, stay sucking.
And if you get pushed away from the tit, then you're just the runt of the litter.
Yeah.
And
Then you're dropped.
You're killed.
Yeah,
you're dropped from
you're
the
killed
team.
with a spade.
Yeah.
That's right.
You dropped off the top of the stadium.
You're dropped off the
Yeah.
top of the set. Because when you get dropped, you don't just get dropped off the team.
No.
You get dropped off the earth.
Oh yes.
You're gone.
You're persona non grata.
That's right.
Just never again spoken to.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get disappeared.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So my team growing up, so Kilkenny, we were known as the Cats.
Yes.
So like absolutely the players would all get around. They drink milk like a little cat.
Yeah.
Like they drink
Sucking it up.
They all have a wee bowl of milk.
Yeah.
That's right. And then they'd all start kind of gingerly licking their own genitals, and then they'd start just kind of at each other in the dressing room. And it was seen, there was times journalists went in and they had to pay them off not to report the stories because it was seen as maybe fetishistic and maybe there was some kind of a sexual component. But
It was the litter boxes were what really got them, I think.
I was listening to a podcast about letterboxes recently.
were you?
Go on.
So it's Vittorio
Yeah.
thing of all time. Yeah.
I was autistic recently.
But it was just funny that, like, obviously, like the litter box thing, like, oh, wouldn't that be crazy? There's like a whole big like right wing thing in America where they talk about, well, the kids in the school these days, the teachers tell them they're allowed to identify as animals, and because one of them identifies as a cat, they have litter boxes in the classroom for the kids who identify as animals. And this is like a conspiracy theory. And then there was like very little evidence of it kind of anywhere. But then they went to like one school in California and they were like, oh no, we have a litter box. But like, do you want to know actually why? It's not anyone identifying as like animals. It's for school shootings if we are stuck in this classroom for
You
an
pretend to be a
extreme
cat.
length of time.
We've only maybe got half an hour to live. Let's all be cats. Fuck it.
We've always wanted it. We've always wanted to do it.
Let's
Now
live
is
our
the time.
dreams.
Yeah.
We're all cats. They're just all just afraid of death and purring.
To be fair, if you came in with a gun and you saw that, you'd go, fuck it.
Yeah. Jesus, these lads want to be killed too
Yeah.
badly. Yeah.
They'd get too much joy out of it.
Yeah. It'd be more pain for them to stay living. These fuckers. These fucking
These
freaks.
Do you know, the term freak isn't used enough anymore, I think.
That's
Freak?
right.
Freak, yeah.
I love calling people freaks.
Yeah, because I think it's you can't really
It's big in Glasgow.
call it.
wee freak.
I like it
I like
because there's
that.
so much to it. You know, you could you can't get cancelled for it,
Yeah.
but you can.
Yet.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
They're
yeah.
coming for it.
They
I
are.
bet freak strikes me as one of those ones that was probably like a medical term at
Oh,
some point.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like idiot was a medical term,
Yeah.
and so was stupid, and so was crazy, and so was lunatic.
Yeah.
But then
so it's fat.
I always fat was a medical term.
You
I
big
think
fat
it's still
freaking
is.
lunatic.
Yeah.
Get this guy locked up.
But I used to have a go-to like clean insult for people that was just like, this won't offend anyone. You'd call people a bozo.
Yeah.
Ah, you fucking bozo.
That's right.
That's good.
It was a category of slave.
Oh really?
Yeah, the stupidest slaves were called bozos.
Yeah.
Oh.
So-
And the best clowns. It's funny.
Slaves and the best ones.
It's funny how it
Yeah.
can mean different things in different contexts. It's very funny.
It could be heaven.
Yeah.
You're heaven or hell with that
Because
one.
if you're calling a clown a bozo, that guy's going away.
It's a huge compliment.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
It's
his.
a huge compliment.
They'd get emotional.
They would.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roger. I think you're quite funny too.
Never expected to be a bozo now.
Yeah. The word freak, though, you're right on that one. That used to have a bit of venom when I was young. Now my brother would be like, "You fucking freak," and I'd be like, "I'm a monster."
It's, but I
Do you know
think
what I mean?
Yeah.
before you've graduated to swear words, freak was top of the line aggression.
Yes.
Yeah.
Freak.
You freak. I mean, what is it about me that is freakish to
Well,
you?
well, I think when you're a child, you're so, and we all carry this through our lives to different degrees. So, like, you just want to, you don't want to be different.
No,
you want to
no.
fit into, like, I just want to be one of the group. I want to be in the
Yeah.
gang. Can I just be part of the gang? So it's like, well, you're a freak. It's like, you're immediately excommunicated.
You're
from
an
the group.
unlovable outcast.
Yeah.
You're a deformed circus. You're the elephant man.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You have a mustache when you were 11.
Me? I suppose you were as this kind of like late 30s,
Teen
11-year-old.
Wolf type
Oh,
fella.
yeah. Now, when I saw that movie, I thought things might turn out okay.
I might be class at
Yeah.
basketball.
I need to start basketball. Mom, we need a basketball ring. I just remember.
So what you said, you tried out lots of facial hair like early on.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
so you were just this kind of fat hairy boy.
Kind of, yeah. Because I wouldn't shave that much. So it was at one point, it was in transition year, I just thought, that's it, I'll go full beard.
We haven't discussed transition year on this podcast. And as someone from the north, yous are fucking chancers.
Oh, yeah.
Ah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Ah, yes.
For people listening who don't know what transition year is, I'm going to say what my read on it is.
Go on.
Every child in Ireland for a year at the age of 16, 17.
Oh, it's a bit younger. It was
16?
15?
14, 15, I thought.
Well, no.
Oh, you were
I think
held
it's
back,
15,
of course.
16.
I would have been
Yeah.
held back because
Yeah.
my brain was too big.
Yeah. That's what they told you.
That's what they
You're
told
too
me.
smart. We're going to get you to help out the younger kids.
Yeah. Very rocks now.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll do that, yeah. As long as I can have my hurling class with me.
As long as Freak Mike gets his friends.
But so they just do fuck all for a year.
Well,
Yeah.
so it's a transition.
Yes.
This is the thing.
So basically, they make all Irish children transition at the age
Yeah.
of 15.
You transition.
They're
from-
turning
Try
the
it for a
kids
year.
gay.
Yeah, you try it for a year.
It's like Mormons.
And
It's
yeah,
a
at the end
gender.
of the year you
It's
go,
gender
"Nah."
rumspringer.
Yeah.
So it's that year of like, see if you like being a girl or a cat or maybe an old piece of cloth or whatever it is that you might want to be for a year.
To bring it back, it almost is a bit like the carnival that you mentioned earlier, the bouffant.
Yes.
Because what happens is the GAA lads grow their hair long for the first time.
Yeah.
The moshers cut their hair for the first time.
Yes.
And everyone integrates. And then the year's over and you go back to hating each other.
The deck gets reshuffled.
Yeah.
That's
but
right.
you go into school. I need to get a better because I have cousins who are going through this right now, and I just can't understand it.
Say now when you were in school now in your first few years and you had your little magical crystals
Now,
and
I had a year off, but that was just imposed by anxiety attacks. Nobody else got
Oh,
that.
fucking, we hear a lot about this, don't we?
well
This gets trotted out a lot.
that does, yeah. I was wondering when he was going to bring it up.
Yeah. You were not nervous about saying it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So Angelone, you would have been, and I rarely call you Angelone, but I want
It's a
to
different vibe.
I want to create a serious
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a
point
frat.
for this. So you would have kind of, been in secondary school there, and of course you were anxious, and you were, counting things, and you had little crystals, and you were playing the flute and stuff. And then maybe you could say, then in transition year, then you could decide. You could be like, hey, do you know what? It's kind of I'm going to be a businessman and create little businesses, and I'm going to get a different haircut, and I'm going to I'm going to be a businesswoman, whatever you want,
Yeah.
or I'm going to be I'm going to be a big strong man instead of a little weak anxious man. And then you can just kind of, and everyone just kind of gives you that time to kind of just, we're going to close our eyes down, we open our eyes, you're the new whoever you are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What actually happens?
No, that is a
kind
lot
of
of
is.
it.
It is like, it's almost like
But functionally, like I get
Oh.
that that's the spirit of the thing. The spirit of the thing is
Yeah.
to give you a chance to just step away from the studies and not have that like sense of impending doom or pressure that you can kind of like figure out who you want to be now that you've like wised up a bit. But like, you go into school every day.
I wouldn't have went in every day now.
Yeah, but maybe most days.
We had farms at home.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know?
But are you from farm?
Oh yeah. Now I will say the farm was not operational at this point.
Right.
But
It had been discontinued.
But the school didn't know that.
That's right. All the
A
cows
lot
had
of work to be done on the farm.
And,
lads.
and they go, really? This time of year?
Very
Really?
sorry.
the cork
It's
hurling.
harvest, no,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's
Yeah, we
the
do a winter
middle of
harvest.
December. Yeah. We have to pick the gooseberries.
Yeah.
The cork hurling team had taken all their cows
Yes.
and
Yes, they
and
had.
sucked them dry.
And we got nothing for it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's just pride in the parish.
Well, they didn't even win.
They didn't win,
No.
unfortunately. Yeah.
It's very sad.
Although there was a fella there. Do you remember The Rock, Diarmuid O'Sullivan, the cork hurler, full back?
I've seen the video of him, the one video that goes around.
The
every
one
so
video.
often.
And that man apparently...
Have you not seen the video?
I have not seen
He
this
absolutely
video.
shoulders the fuck out of someone and then points it from about 100 yards.
That's right.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the
Like
strongest...
genuinely 100 yards.
Yeah.
He's the strongest man to ever live.
Okay, yeah.
And
Eddie
He's
the
my-
Beast Hall is boxing him next year.
He's
That's
Marius,
right.
He's
Yeah.
Marius Pudzianowski. Like he is the...
yeah, he, you know what I mean. He did the man, hands like shovels, head like a mountain, and arse like his arse was like an arse. It was the one thing about him
Yeah.
that added up.
That's what they all say.
That's the only thing about him that made sense.
But so O'Sullivan apparently, this is the rumor anyway, but he would suck 10 cows dry every morning for breakfast, teat by teat.
He'd leave
I
them
believe
looking
it.
like the cow equivalent of a raisin.
Oh yes,
That's
yeah.
right.
And that's where moles come from.
Is it?
Yeah,
It's interesting.
And he'd
The-
break into farmers' fields, and
They'd
he was
be
a
shooing
pest.
him away, wouldn't
He'd be
they?
like a fox
The-
with chickens.
Yeah.
Dermot!
At one stage, they put a bell on him.
Yeah.
but it did no good.
No,
It did no
He
good.
ate the bell.
He did.
but like a fox with chickens, there'd be farmers coming out with the guns. Get away,
Yeah,
O'Sullivan!
yeah.
And he'd be there, and naked as the day he was born, underneath the cows in the field, just. And he'd be like a little crab underneath them, and sure, then he just kept getting bigger and
Yeah.
bigger and bigger, and then sure, after a while, there was no, even if apparently they shot him a couple of times, and so thick was his skin from the milk that the bullets would just get fucking lodged in this kind
They
of
became part of him.
They'd
Yeah.
work their way out, some of them.
Huh?
They'd work their way out, some of them,
Yeah.
and they'd ping out. When
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sometimes during matches, I've heard.
Yeah.
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 That's what happened when the people think it was the British Army that walked onto the pitch at Croke
It
Park.
was this man.
It was Jamie O'Sullivan. Opened fire on the crowd by accident.
by just bouncing the bullets out of himself.
You can't blame a man for that.
No, you certainly can't.
Would you have this, Mike? That I realised the other day because I'm from farming stock as well.
Yeah.
And your hardware, whatever software you put in there to make yourself a good, like, you know,
Metropolitan boy.
Yeah, the hardware comes back. So every now and again it reboots.
Yes.
And for me, I just can't imagine that milk could ever be bad for you. Like that, there's calories in it.
There's
Like,
just because this is all the chat now is that milk is bad. Milk
But,
is
Yeah,
but this whole thing about milk being bad, bread being bad, you know what I mean?
Have you
It's like
heard this?
butter-
yeah,
butter being bad.
being bad.
Butter's
It-
bad.
Do you know
Potatoes
what?
bad?
Yeah. It sounds to me a bit racist.
Yeah.
It sounds
It's
like
anti-Irish
Do you know if
sentiment.
people came out and said if they said samosas were bad for you, then
Yeah.
people would be up in arms.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Bread,
Ever-
milk, butter. Come
Nobody
on,
has the
lads.
balls to say rice is bad for you.
Yeah, they won't say it. They won't say it. Lads.
No,
Stop hashtag stop Irish hate.
yeah. I'll be honest.
Milk and spuds are the worst thing for you.
Oh,
you
really?
can fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Listen, right? Just because my dinner sometimes is all beige.
Yeah.
That is
It's
not
my
bad.
culture.
Yeah, that is a balanced meal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is-
yeah.
Next thing you're going to be saying it's bad to blow up pubs in British towns. Fuck up.
Leave us be,
it's
would you?
anti-Irish sentiment.
It is.
But it's just a festival that we do every so often.
Yeah.
Where we blow up pubs and stuff.
Yeah.
And listen, people talk about the food pyramid. What colour are the pyramids? Beige.
Here we go. Here we
That's
go.
right.
Yeah.
The milk is, and I'll tell this to all ye, milk is not only good for you, if you want to be a big, strong man like Dermot O'Sullivan, who lifts heavy things, wins games, and gets all the lovely women licking his nipples, then you drink milk.
Brought to you by milk.
Do you want the prettiest girl in your little town
I'd love if we got
to
Got
lick your
sponsored by the Milk
nipples?
Council.
The Milk Council?
You could probably do it. Like they must be trying to revitalize.
Because I always get so jealous of off menu because they're sponsored by the concept of long stem broccoli.
what
Like
really?
it's not a specific company. I think the broccoli lobby sponsor off menu. So they do ads just for tender stem broccoli, no specific,
Lads,
just tender stem
if
broccoli.
They
I've ever
can
seen,
fuck off.
If I've ever seen two lads built on milk.
Look,
I'm telling
is
you.
there any greater advertisement to milk
Look at
than
that.
this fucking physique?
Look at that.
This was straight from the cow's teeth. Look at those veins.
All Mike does to get that
There's
now.
milk running through them
Look at
veins.
those
Yeah,
dairy
yeah.
veins.
All Mike does, he drinks a pint of milk every hour on the hour,
That's right.
and he lifts 20 bales of hay.
That's right.
That's all you do a day, isn't
That's
it?
all I do a day. Nothing else. Morning to evening. Sometimes I come in here for a little break, chat to a couple of cowards, and then I go back. and then I go straight back to the milk and lifting.
Should we just start doing ad reads for milk?
You should.
Absolutely.
Use code MILK
Milk. At your local creamery.
Yeah.
to get, and you'll be charged no less because those dairy farmers are having a tough time, and they're getting fucked over by the government, and
they'd be asking them to pay taxes now and stuff. And
that's rude.
Fuck
Very
off.
rude.
And if you hear any of these fucking stupid
Vicious
food
rumours.
phonies
Rumours.
like fucking Gwyneth Paltrow or Guy Fieri or whoever's saying not to drink milk, you fucking, if you see any of them in the street, fight them.
If you see Guy Fieri in the street, you fight him.
You
fight him.
fight that
You
fucking
fight him.
blondie
and he
cunt.
says, "Why?" And you say, "'Cause milk. That's why."
Cause milk,
Yes.
that's why.
Milk
'Cause
sends its regards.
milk,
Fucking curb stomping him.
milk says hello.
Do you know what I've been drinking at the minute is Jersey milk.
Oh
Have you
fuck!
tried this?
No,
It's from Jersey cows rather than Frisians.
It is, and also I think.
Were you a Frisian farm?
oh by Jesus, we are. Yeah,
He would be Frisian.
Classic.
But
you only get milk out of Frisian cow. They're the only cows that milk well. Is a black and white cow. An orange cow now would only give you
Like a Highland cow?
cruel, loveless milk.
well, I'll tell you, this milk.
Milk that'd weaken
Jersey
your
milk?
bones.
Maybe it's from Jersey. I don't know. Right?
Well, Jersey cow is a type of cow.
Yeah. Listen, Mike.
The
I'm
one
sorry,
known
but,
farmer here piping up with a load of propaganda.
I'd say I know my way around a cow. I'll tell you that much.
It's from Jersey. It's a
But-
cow from
but-
Jersey. You get New Jersey
New
milk?
Jersey cow. This New Jersey cow. It's as
He's
big as
a-
Johnny Sack's wife.
80-pound more on this Jersey cow's ass.
But it has
He's
lumps in it.
heavily involved in organised crime.
Oh yeah,
Ah, yeah.
Or
I'm a cow.
organised cream, even. We
Oh,
go, I'll leave now. I'll leave.
You'll stay forever after that one. Milk-based humour is good humour.
We've changed the title of the podcast. It's now Mike and Vittorio's Guide to Parenting, and also jokes about milk from Roger.
Yeah.
Milk and Vittorio's Guide to Parenting.
I would legally change my name to Milk Rice.
Milk
Rice.
Milk rice.
I swear.
It's nearly a recipe.
it would be you'd be worried that you'd be get confused for rice milk, which is a cowardly alternative
Oh
to milk.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't because it's the other way around.
Would you ever look at that? Oh, you'd never look at Mike and think that's a man who drinks rice milk. You wouldn't.
Fuck no.
No.
You'd say that's a man if he saw a bowl of rice milk, he'd fucking kill whoever showed it to him.
But you should
Yeah.
get your family to like trick all the vegans. You could sell like rice milk, but it's from the Rice family farm, and it's just milk.
Oh, I love that.
And they think they're getting vegan alternatives, but you're just feeding them up with milk.
Oh,
It's
I'd like
the best
that.
alternative.
Oh, I'd
you've
like
ever
that.
had.
God, it tastes just like milk, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's rice milk.
Tastes better than milk.
My father genuinely believes, and this is not in any, there's no joke, irony, anything, that being a vegan is a mental illness. I'm not
Yeah.
joking. He believes that 100%.
Those poor bastards.
He thinks
Yes.
those poor people aren't well.
They're
They
sickly.
don't know what's good for them.
So this
Did you just get milk from your farm? Like that was where all your milk came from?
well, sure, the milk had come out of the cow. Now, have I gone straight teeth to mouth? Yeah.
Have you actually?
Yeah, because you're a curious
Yeah.
child.
This is pre-internet.
Yes.
Like, of course, you're going to...
Pre 9/11, different times.
Yeah, of
Right.
course. Yeah. The minute 9/11 happened, Mike said, I'm never sucking a cow again.
I can't trust
Yeah.
trust the government.
No.
So we would drink it. Well, generally the milk would go into the tank, and then the tank that's collected by the big creamery down the road, Glambia. So they'd come get our milk, then they'd pasteurize and do all the things to make it kind of
Less good.
edible for kind of weak, brittle boned cowards. No offense.
Get all the bacteria out.
Yes.
You know, fucking-
But we'd be drinking there'd be this much of fat on top of the
Yeah.
milk we were drinking.
This
You
is
have to give it a good shake.
the Jersey
you
milk.
wouldn't shake. Yes.
The Jersey milk
Go
I
on.
get. It's pasteurized.
Not
refined,
homogenized though?
Not homogenized.
Fuck your
So
homogenization.
it's full of lumps. It's beautiful. It's honestly there'd be eating and drinking in it, as my
Yeah.
father would say. Beautiful milk. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh,
That's a 3-course meal
It
in that
would-
bottle of milk.
But that's why. And why do you think that you hit puberty at 7 years old?
Here we go.
Because you're eating milk.
Yeah,
When do you think Diarmuid O'Sullivan hit puberty?
I'd say a few years before me.
5 years fucking BD before
Jesus.
Diarmuid.
Yeah, he hit it in utero.
He ripped his way out, didn't he?
Oh, sure. His mother was only a kind of a pile of scraps after him.
His mother was a cow. She was. His mother was a
O'Sullivan climbed out the fucking.
His like biological mother was a human woman, but he climbed out of her and into her car for like the last trimester. Just 'cause
Yes,
he thought, this suits me more.
Yes, they needed a womb that big to contain him.
Well, apparently I think was it the Wexford hurling team of the 90s. They actually did that with a lot of the hurlers, is that they'd get them for periods during training coming up to championship. They'd get them to climb into cows for maybe a week or two.
Yeah.
And then they'd come out and they'd kind of have their feet had kind of turned into kind of hooves and their bones would be bigger, and they ended up a lot of them dying. Inside the cows. Turned out to be a complete disaster, but it was the right spirit.
It was certainly the right spirit.
Sometimes when you say stuff like that, it's a bit like watching Tony Hawk do a trick or something.
Yeah.
And you just go, there's no way he's going to land this. There's going to be a few broken bones.
He doesn't know where it's going.
No,
I don't know where it's going.
You're like, what is
You trust it.
And you just go, fucking fair fucks to him.
And there's been a few in this podcast. There's been a higher percentage than normal. I think having another farming hand here has really kind of increased the amount of bullshit coming out of Mike today.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, lads, I'll be honest with you now. I think what you've said there now is kind of cruel. It's cruel that you're kind of making out that Mike is some sort of a shyster and a snake oil salesman over here, just coming up with things. I'm sorry that the way I grew up and the life I led isn't fucking by the numbers.
Yeah.
You know, I went to learn the flute and this, that and the other. There was men climbing into cows. Some of them died. It's not pretty. And I'm sick of sugarcoating it for ye fucking weak-born city slickers for the woke agenda.
Yes,
90% of the Wexford hurling team died in 1996 by climbing into cows, and you don't want to hear about that.
You're talking about a man who was on the front lines here.
Yes.
And I respect your service.
I had to pull Martin Story out of one of them cows, dead. Hurling helmet still on.
You tried flushing the fluid out, swinging him back and forth.
I
hoping
did.
The lungs would get going.
I hoped.
Didn't.
I did everything. I started driving hurling schlitters at him, thought that'd wake him up. Just out pure instinct. Do you know what I mean?
He was no more good.
He was fucking gone. And sure, then what do we do? We had to feed him to Diarmuid O'Sullivan.
But a lot of people are saying that Diarmuid, he wouldn't have progressed without those lads. A lot of men died in the formation.
Sort of cannon fodder that launched Diarmuid.
Yeah. Well, that was the Easter Rising, we'll say, to Diarmuid O'Sullivan's War of Independence.
Yes.
Which was Cork winning the All-Ireland in 2004.
Exactly. Exactly. I'd say Tony didn't make that one. I'll say Tony. He didn't land that trick.
But this Cork manager being fat, can I explain why I like that so much?
Yeah.
So all these managers these days are all so fit. And they're also like running and staying healthy.
They're skinny little thinky men.
Skinny little tinkers. That's right. And then just to see a lad, this lad's eating a curry cheese chip and a battered sausage at training.
On the sideline at the All-Ireland final.
Yes,
absolutely.
He had a taco chip.
Yeah.
He had a taco chip. He had a big 2-litre bottle of Coke.
He just stern look in his face as he's putting one in at a time.
Chain smoking.
Yeah.
Chips covered in taco sauce.
100%. Little packet of hobnobs beside him.
Yeah.
He's dipping into them. And you're thinking, yeah, that's right. You don't have to be skinny or fit.
Yeah,
you can
you're not doing it. You're not playing the sport.
You're finished playing.
Yeah.
You can just eat as much as you want, drink like a sow, and I'll flag in a fucking devil's bit cider.
I think there's something to this, Mike, because I think what's going on is the lads, while they're playing, they're fit as fiddles.
Yeah.
Most of them wouldn't even touch a drop of drink.
Yeah.
They'd have to, and they look at him, and what they see in him is, if I win this,
Yes.
That's the
that's
reward.
That's the fucking way I can live.
Yeah.
He's like an old French king.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
If I
He's
win
fought
this,
his battles.
yeah,
He's got his medals on his chest.
That's it.
Yeah.
I
Now
can
he's
become a
eating
fat fuck as well.
apple tart and custard for breakfast. Absolutely happy as a pig
He
in
just
shit.
lies on his shay lawn getting fed chicken goujons by local milkmaids.
That's right.
There's no better way.
Yeah, he's down butt naked in the field with Diarmuid O'Sullivan, sucking on the underside of a cow's teat. Do you know what I mean? But
Definitely.
Who do you think sired him?
what?
He's Diarmuid O'Sullivan's father.
Oh, fuck!
Yeah, now they've covered that up.
I'm sure they
And
would.
we're not hearing this
Yeah, but
in the mainstream media.
it will come out. It will come out.
Funnily enough, they haven't told us that in the mainstream media. Just Tucker Carlson interviewing Diarmuid O'Sullivan.
They're saying he's a fat manager. That's so interesting.
That's so interesting because here in America, in the mainstream media, apparently the managers have to be thin for some reason. But there is something, because if you're a player, and this must be depressing, and you're there, like you said, busting your bollocks, you're not eating any tea cakes or passanadas or any type of Portuguese desserts, and you're just
specific.
yeah. But they're all the rage at the minute.
Yeah, there's a whole shop in central London that just sells passanadas.
It's
Are they called? Is the shop called that?
Yeah,
it's gone mad.
Oh, there you go.
There's a craze.
I don't like them.
I think they're fine.
They're too flaky.
Too flaky.
Yeah.
I like them, and I eat them, and then afterwards I drink a big pint of milk, and then I just lift bales of hay for hours.
That's your pre-workout.
Yeah.
It's just a few custard tarts.
Do you think every county in Ireland just has like a bullshitter to the level of Mike, and like we should do an All Ireland bullshit? Because Blind Boy has got Limerick sewn up. Like
Yeah,
if you just spoke
yeah.
slightly slower and softer, you would be Blind Boy.
Oh,
Just making things up.
Hold on now.
No.
Hold on. Now. This is where this is where I
that's
draw
unfair.
a line now. I'm coming in here and I'm being vulnerable enough to share my, let's say, less than ideal perhaps upbringing.
Yeah.
Which you have also had, Roger.
Listen, I've also had it, and it's very hard to get rid of all of the bullshit.
Yeah.
It just doesn't go. It doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes
As you were saying earlier about the hardware, it's just like
Oh
it's-
yeah,
it's there.
yeah. Like for me, a big time it happened recently was to go back to the All Ireland final.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'd seen the yellow ball. They
Oh.
changed the
colour.
colour.
Yes, I saw. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did clock that. I don't know. Is that the woke?
What?
Is that the woke?
It'll be
agenda?
something to do with, yeah.
Well, here is it. I looked it up, right? And it was somebody did their PhD on saying that the yellow one is more visible to players than the white one, and that it will improve the performance
quality of play.
Yeah, and they trialed it, and the GAA found that it worked, so they adopted it. And I was reading this, and while I was reading it, I thought, "Oh God, that's very interesting." In the minute I stopped reading it, I thought, fuck, it should be white.
It absolutely
Yeah,
should.
yeah,
It
I just thought,
absolutely
yeah.
should be. You're
I
just
thought,
like,
what next?
That's
Foam
not,
sticks?
That's not what a slither looks like. That's not what it looks like.
Yeah, that's not.
I would get it if it was snowing,
Yeah, yeah.
and that would be like a cool little quirk about the game. That like, oh, it was snowing in the All Ireland final in fucking July,
So it had to be yellow.
so they had to be a yellow one, like they do in football, like a bright orange ball. If
Yeah.
you need that,
Yeah.
but surely a yellow like football for. Like, are they playing with a yellow ball next week at the fucking Armagh Mayo game?
But also it's more anti-milk
Is it
Is it
propaganda.
Mayo?
Oh.
No, it's Galway.
It's anti-milk because the white ball famously represented
It's
Milk.
famously.
milk,
Yeah.
and the yellow ball
Well,
represents
that's how
piss.
they make them. They just take, they just take the right size clumps off the top of Jersey milk, and
And,
that's how slitters are.
and they just form it together, don't
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
Yes.
See,
Now there was a problem. Diarmuid O'Sullivan ended up eating a lot of the slitters.
He went through. That's. I made up the other stuff. It was all bullshit. What it was is
Yeah.
that they told him these slitters are gone off. So Diarmuid
yellow
O'Sullivan doesn't eat the yellow
Those
ones.
don't eat yellow slitters.
Yeah.
I heard, and this is true, that the yellow slitters are James O'Sullivan's kidney stones that he has pissed out through his cock.
They're
Mike,
quick-
is this true?
I'd love, as he has humiliated me several times in this podcast by saying I'm a liar. I would love to say that that's a lie, but I'm afraid that actually is. That is actually, there is a big element of truth to that. Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, yeah.
None of these things are stuff. When people might say, and like Vittorio was saying, "Oh, you'd make this stuff up." Why would I? This
Why would
stuff. Where would I get these ideas for these tragedies
Yeah.
and these of course, less than savoury goings on.
Yes, yeah.
I don't like it any more than ye do. You know,
True. Sometimes the truth hurts, you know.
fucking oftentimes.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing fucking tastier than a little lie sometimes.
Just a little lie.
Just a
little lie.
A little sugary half truth. No, it gets you up in the morning. But what I'm saying, I think it's depressing for players. They're playing. Also, by the way, I start talking a little bit more Cork when I'm around Cork people.
It is maybe my favourite Irish accent.
Yeah,
Oh, it is good.
It's
is
beautiful.
Cork accent.
Yeah.
It's stunning and brave.
But
brave.
well, to talk,
You slipped that in now.
to talk
Brave.
like that, to basically sing your whole life, is something else.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Do you know what I mean? But
Brave's an interesting word. It can mean very different things. Like if for example, you're talking about a sports person or a soldier, brave means brave. But if you commented underneath like somebody's nice picture that they've taken at their wedding, it means fat.
Yeah. It does.
yeah,
But to be fair, if you're going into a war zone and you're a bit larger than the average person, that's pretty brave.
That is also
Yeah.
brave. So that means both.
Yeah, maybe soldiers are thinking, Jesus, should I lose a few pounds now?
But then you won't get as many medals for bravery.
That's true. That's true. I think that there is something to that. That if you're I think brave is always something you have to be a little careful about when you use it.
Because if someone doesn't realize they're being brave,
You don't want to
it's
tell
a
them.
big insult.
Yeah.
some people say to me, my
They say you're a
fearless.
coward, don't they? and you lap it up. You go, at least I'm not fat.
Well,
Thank you.
I'll be
I've
honest.
been minding my calories.
Yeah.
You're a fucking yellow-bellied coward. Thank you.
Yeah, we should start doing that on wedding pictures. You go, you're an awful coward today, Linda. You're an awful coward, turning up looking
Just
great.
the hottest
Yeah.
women ever. Kim Kardashian's Instagram. Cowardly of
You're
you
a
to post
coward.
this.
Yeah.
You're a lily-livered sack
Yes.
of shit.
Yeah.
That's right. If you had any balls, you would have come covered in curry stains. Yeah, absolute fucking coward. With your little immaculate dress. No, I people wouldn't obviously not call me a coward, and they would call me brave because I have the balls to tell the truth, for one thing. But also, people, as you will get this as well, when you go up on stage and then you call people pedos and you know what I mean, you tell someone their mother's fat, and then you come off stage and they'll be like, Jesus, that was brave, I wouldn't be able to do what you do. And do you know what I say? I say, you're right. It was brave.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have done it.
You couldn't have done
You
it.
couldn't have done it.
I think there needs to be more of that when people come up to you after gigs,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Geez, I'd love to give it a go, but I don't know if I'd ever give it a go." My instinct sometimes is to be nice to these lads,
Yeah.
but we shouldn't.
No.
We should
Stay away.
Yeah, we should say
It's not for you.
Yeah, it's not for you, and I can tell by looking at you, you'd be shit at this. You'd be shit at this. I'd say your mother doesn't listen to you. You'd be fucking shit.
You've no magnetism. I'm
Yeah.
struggling to see you. You're like squinting at them going,
Yeah.
you're blurry. You're a blurry chap.
Yeah.
You now belong on. What you need to do is you need to do YouTube videos about Lord of the Rings lore. That's what you'd be perfect for. That's what we need to say.
You look like you're in the background of your own wedding pictures. That's what you look like. Just never the focus of anything.
Yeah.
You stood there beside your wife and people go, is that you? That fella looks like you.
Jeez, who's that? Who's that man stood next to that brave woman?
That cowardly little man.
Oh, great stuff.
So,
We can probably plug some dates and finish the podcast and go on to the Patreon. if
oh,
you would
what
like.
time? Oh, jeez, we're after doing 58 there now. I want to talk to you on the Patreon about magical thinking.
Oh, yes, yeah,
because
yeah.
that's something now that really gets my juices flowing. So dates. I'm recording a special in Glasgow on August 30th. The late show is sold out. Early show still tickets left. Go to that. Also, my tour extension is going to be up now. Go to my website, mikerisecomedy.com. We're going to Cardiff, fucking Brighton, Birmingham, Manchester, Liverpool, loads of places, Dublin, Cork, Belfast, they'll all be on it. Come to the show. Go to get them. Also, I'm in Edinburgh for the whole month as well. MikeRiceComedy.com, tickets there. Nice.
No, what I like to do is plug the charity gigs that we're doing before all of our own stuff.
Yes.
And for the dying people.
Sorry, but
first-
Mike's giving 10% of the profits for all those tickets.
Yes.
Isn't it?
To the Diarmuid O'Sullivan Foundation for dead Wexford hurlers who died inside the stomachs of cows. Yes.
The 1st of September, Vicar Street, Dublin. We're doing a fundraising gig for medical aid for Palestinians. It's a crazy lineup. Chris Kent, Emma Doran, Shane Daniel Byrne, me, Michael Reichel, and someone else that I've forgotten.
Kyla
Cobbler. There we go.
Coblero and others.
And more TBA. But tickets are on sale for that now. We'll have already done that thing tonight. Come see me at the Edinburgh Fringe. I'm doing a crowd work show every single day. 6 of the dates are already sold out. Haha, fuck you. And then I'm doing 2 big tour shows at the Fringe of Who Do You Think You Are? I Am on the 20th and 21st. Come to those. Then my tour has been extended into the autumn and the winter as well. Come along to that, particularly if you live in places like Southampton, Portsmouth, Winchester, where arguably shouldn't have put on shows. A lot of people have been saying I shouldn't have put on shows there. Most of those people are me and the people promoting the show.
You want to prove them wrong.
Rogie Podge, he's doing the Fringe.
Yeah, I'm not as successful, so this will be shorter. I'm doing 4 days at the Fringe. I haven't even learned this off. 5:45 from the 4th to the 8th of August, apparently, in a place called Carbon Room 2, and the show is called Fuck Me, I'm Good. And the poster is me fucking myself. So
yeah.
I hope to see you there. And follow me on Instagram.
Follow Roger on Instagram.
Yeah.
So funny. Stand up is amazing.
Roger Comedy?
Oh, yeah, Roger O Comedy.
Yes.
Roger O Comedy.
I'm a massive fan. So good.
And
Check
sign
it
up
out.
to Patreon. Oh, and the merch is out. Oh, we'll chuck in the merch thing in the middle. Fuck
Yes.
merch is out. Buy the merch. The links will be in the description. And sign up to the Patreon. Patreon.com/parenting. Because we keep losing sponsors.
Visual Antics on the merch. They did the merch. They're great. Yeah. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Patreon. Bye.